All right. So last week we went over chapter 1 in my book that I wrote of Not Alone, Not Forgotten. Today we're going to work on chapter 2. And, well, let's get started. For those who don't know me, my name is Llewellyn. I am an abuse survivor. And my counselor has said that my diagnosis of CPTSD, depression, anxiety is because of my trauma that I had lived through from my childhood all the way through to my first marriage and, school, high school, the whole 9 yards. And I do these to help people. I am on a church text, I guess you want to call for a prayer chain. And in that prayer chain, a 14-year-old girl tried to commit suicide. It just kills me that they want to do that. It really hurts right here. And this child, I really want to go to schools and talk to these children. I don't want them to attempt to kill themselves, unalive themselves, whatever verbiage I'm supposed to be using on here. I want them to realize their worth, their power that they have. Because sometimes bullies bully because they want to. Sometimes they do it because it makes them look cool with someone else, right? Sometimes they do it because it's the only way to get attention. Sometimes they do it because they're having a hard time themselves in their own lives at home or whatever. We really don't know why they do what they do. And until they seek help, sometimes they don't even know. And when it affects another child, another human being to the point where they just don't want to live anymore, the person that feels that way is like, I might as well give up because they say I'm worthless. We need to teach our children and ourselves that this is just a rough patch and we will get through it. Now, I myself tried it a couple of times, and I am so thankful that my amazing husband right now. And I'm glad that I didn't. But to tell these 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds that they have a life ahead of them, they don't see the whole picture. I know I didn't. And so I write these self-help books to let people know, your life is worth so much. All right, enough of my rant. All right, so chapter 2 is what we're going to be starting on today. So last week I did a recap on chapter 1, which was explaining and understanding the chapter, or the mental health, challenges that we face. And where is chapter 2? Chapter 2 was, I talk about supporting one another or even yourself. Sometimes you don't have that support that you need for yourself. And so my biggest thing is to journal, because you can talk to yourself like a friend is talking to you, because even in our deepest, darkest moments, if we had a friend that had a problem, we would still be there for them. So if you have no one, be your own friend. Get a journal it out. I mean, I wrote a big one, a very thick 365-day positive journal, but you don't have to do that. You can just get like a regular notebook, and that'll do the same thing. And write to yourself, your friend, and tell them all the reasons, tell yourself all the reasons why you're amazing. Now, you wouldn't talk to your friend negative, would you? Don't talk to yourself that way. We need to learn to be more positive with ourselves, because we are lovable. God loves you so much. Okay, so chapter 2, supporting one another. So this chapter is learning about ways to help yourself or others, depending on what the case may be, right? So the first one says, there are several ways in which you could learn to help yourself or others who have mental health challenges to feel understood, listened to, and supported. And again, journal. I can't express that enough. You need to journal. Number one is educate yourself. So, like with your friend or even yourself, you want to understand what mental health challenge that they have. Is it anxiety, depression, CPTSD, PTSD, bipolar, whatever it is they have? Have them talk about it and you educate yourself. Or if it's you personally, educate yourself on what it is. Uh, Learn what the various manifestations are, understand the symptoms, any triggers, challenges associated with that mental health challenge that you or someone else has, right? And it can help you empathize with and validate your own or their experience. What do I mean by that? So, for me, I have the complex post traumatic stress syndrome because of the abuse I had growing up. I had the physical abuse, the sexual abuse, the verbal abuse, the mental abuse, you name it, I went through it all, right? And I didn't know until what, about almost 9 years ago? Yeah, about 9, 10 years ago, right? Of what was going on in my own brain. I would just block it out. I would neatly fold it in a box and tuck it away and never open it, never go in that attic area type deal, right? Wouldn't do it. And then something happened and the boxes were opened and all this new feelings and memories came pouring in. I mean, just pouring and just overwhelmed me so much. And I had to learn. I had to educate myself on what all of this meant to me. And I'm still learning. Don't get me wrong. I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. I'm a person like you. The only difference is I took certified life coaching, life coaching classes to be certified to understand more of the mental health, relationships, and trauma. Because not only did I do it for myself, but I did it so I could also help others understand what they're going through. And I can't stress enough. Journal. Journaling is so what's what I'm looking for? Profound, because once you write it down, your brain can't lie to you anymore because your eyes see what you wrote down. And so if you write down, you know, Bob, Jeremiah, whatever your name is, right? You're smart. You have X, Y, and Z going for you. Or you, maybe you're in school, and you have pretty good, decent grades. I didn't get above a C most times. I did not get above a C. But that was the best I could do for the circumstances that I was in because I had to take care of my baby sister. From the moment I got home from school, I dealt with a baby for years. And I couldn't study. I couldn't focus on my schoolwork, right? Because I had a child I had to take care of. Even though she wasn't my child, it was still my child. So everyone has different things of what they go on. And so I would write to that child and say, hey, you did the best you could. Little Lou, you did the best that you could. And I was name called. I was smelling Ellen. I was trailer trash. I was, you name it, right? I was never smart enough or pretty enough. And I didn't have enough money to buy the whatever was in style back then, right? I think it was like Jordache jeans and things like that. I didn't have money for that. And so I never fit in anywhere, and I could never bring people home. I couldn't have friends over. So all my friends stayed in school, so they became just acquaintances. I just, never really hung out with anyone. So make sure you educate yourself. Do a lot of research. Ask questions to your doctors or counselors or therapists or pastors or whatever that you want to trust. Educate yourself. Journal it all out. The second thing is to be a good listener. And again, if you don't have anyone to listen to you, journal it out and read it out loud like somebody is talking to you about it. So, for instance, I would start the conversation on a journaling paper, right? Hey, Llewellyn, I really need to talk. I'm having bad thoughts, suicidal thoughts, or I just don't know how to handle these certain feelings that I'm having, right? And whatever it is, I would write it out. And then I would read it out loud like somebody was talking to me about it because your voice will go to your ears, right? Because now you're hearing it. And then you say, okay, so I'm going to say, dear friend, I have these bad feelings. And then I would rewrite and go, hey, Llewellyn, I hear you. I'm here for you. I'm listening. I understand. I don't want to say understand. I want you to know that I'm here. Right. So you want to make sure that you validate that person's feelings. Okay. So be a good listener. So you want to practice active listening when someone wants to share their thoughts and feelings. Make sure you give them the full attention. If it's for someone else, give them full attention. Maintain eye contact, maybe nod to encourage them to continue. Provide verbal cues to show that you're engaged. Oh my. Oh, whatever needs to be done. You want to listen, understand them, and avoid interrupting, or maybe avoid looking at a phone or a book or TV, So make sure there's no distractions. You want to give your full attention to this person, look them directly in the eye, right? And let them know that you're there to listen and support them. And again, if you personally do not have anyone, journal. Dear journal, dear friend, these are my feelings. I can't get the ants out of my head, the automated negative thought syndromes. I don't remember who told me that, but man, I love it. I can't get the ants out of my head. They're telling me that I'm stupid. They're telling me that nobody wants to buy my books. They're telling me that I'm not pretty enough, that I'm old, that I'm whatever the case is, right? And then you give it a few minutes after you write all that out. You walk away. And then you come back and you read it out loud like your friend is talking to you. I know it's your words. I know it's all about you, but you want to make it so that way like a friend is talking to you. So you read it out loud. And then you're going to write, dear Llewellyn, not, whoever, whatever your name is, right? You don't use my name. I'm using my name. Llewellyn, I hear what you're saying, and I'm here for you. I want to help support you. What can I do to help you? If it's just listening, I'm here to listen. Maybe you need to seek a counselor or a therapist or, psychologist or whatever the case is. Maybe a spiritual guide that you believe in. It could be a pastor. It could be, whomever. Maybe you don't want to go that route. Maybe you want to pay a life coach, someone like myself that has gone through it and has also, book learned in it. Whatever the case is, write it all out. You journal it for yourself, especially if you have no one you can talk to. And I don't have people that I can talk to. So that's what I do. All right. So the third one is validate their feelings. You want to acknowledge and validate emotions without judgment or dismissal. You want to let them know that it's okay to feel the way that they do, that their feelings are valid, and avoid minimizing or trivializing their concerns. So when someone comes to you and says, I feel awkward. I can't believe, this is going on, or I feel this, or I feel that. Don't say, well, you can't feel that way. You can feel whatever it is you need to feel. And again, if you don't have anyone you can talk to, journal it out. Journal like you're talking to a friend. Dear friend, this is how I am feeling. Once you write it down for yourself, walk away for, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Come back to it, read it out loud like your friend is talking to you, and then rewrite to your friend, dear whatever your name is, and validate the feelings. But here's the key. You are allowed to be mad. You're allowed to be ticked off. What you're not allowed to do is to hurt others with it. Words do hurt. Have you ever heard that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me? It's a lie. Words do hurt. Actions hurt too. So please be careful what you say. You want to make sure that if you're talking to yourself, journaling for yourself, or if you're actually talking to a friend, you're listening to that friend, whatever the case is, make sure you validate their feelings. Make sure you say, it's okay to have your feelings, but how are you going to turn it into good? Because we don't want you to harm yourself or harm others, whether it's physically or verbally. We don't want that. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, journal it out and then make sure you tell yourself, don't harm others. physical or otherwise, because you have to sleep with yourself. You have to live with yourself, whatever you say or do, right? Okay, so we have educate yourself, be a good listener, validate your feelings. And number 4 is be patient and understanding. So understanding that each mental health challenge can affect a person's mood, energy levels, and motivation. So you want to be patient and avoid pressuring them to snap out of it. Instead, offer your support and reassurance. So if someone is, and I'm really bad at being depressed, if someone is in a depressed state, you can't tell them just snap out of it, just get over it. We don't work that way, so make sure you educate yourself first on depression, right? Because they come and they go. And to snap out of it, to build a bridge and get over it, cry me a river, build a bridge and get over it doesn't work. Sometimes just having you sit there without saying a word means a heck of a lot more than saying, hey, snap out of it. Sometimes asking, hey, do you want to go get an ice cream with me? Do you want to go to the store with me? They may say no. And that's okay. They may say yes too. But again, make sure you educate yourself. You're a good listener. You validate their feelings and you be patient and understanding as much as possible. Now, as an abuse survivor, when I was being abused in my first marriage, I would have people tell me, right now, what I heard and what they said are two different things. They would tell me that I am better than living in that abused relationship and I should leave. What I heard was they're trying to break up my family. So don't tell people to do anything. Do not give advice. Oh, that's number 5. So avoid giving unsolicited advice. Do not give advice because they may not hear the exact words that you are saying and they may not be ready. And that's okay because this is not your path. This is their path. This is their journey, not yours. You're just there to offer support. That's all you're doing. So as number 5 comes into it, it says, while it may be tempting to offer solutions, sometimes all a person needs is a listening ear. So instead of giving advice, ask open-ended questions to encourage them to express themselves. What is it that you're looking for? What do you need to hear? Don't ask yes, no. Ask open-ended questions to keep them talking. And then number 6, offer reassurance. So provide reassurance and support by reminding them that they are not alone. Hence my book, Not Alone, Not Forgotten, right? And they're not forgotten, and that you are there for them. Encourage them to express their worries and concerns openly and assure them that you are there to support them through their mental health challenge. And again, if you have no one, you're going to have to be your own moral support. Journal. Write it down. Sometimes you can't write it down. How else can you journal? You can get a voice recorder. You can record. I know phones have them. You can record it. And if you're afraid that someone is going to overhear it, you can either lock it, you can hide it under something else, stuff like that. Number 7 is to respect their boundaries. So everyone copes with mental health challenges differently. And it's very important to respect everyone is different, right? So everyone has different boundaries. They have different preferences. So please make sure that you respect that because you want them to respect yours in return, right? Respecting their boundaries means letting them have the space and time alone that they may need. It's okay to leave them alone. If you think they're going to hurt themselves, please be near. But other than that, give them that space. Allow them to set their own limits and pace when it comes to social situations or exposure to triggers. Let them know that you are there for them whenever they are ready to talk or seek support. Offer practical support, which is number 8. So we'll go back to 7 real quick. So with boundaries, sometimes they don't know their boundaries, and it's okay. Ask them to set boundaries. Ask them to help you know where their boundaries are, because you don't want to push them away. What you want to do is you want to offer support and help the best that you possibly can. Okay, so number 8 is offer practical support. So you want to help them identify and implement coping strategies that work for them, which goes back to the number 1 of educating yourself on whatever their mental health challenges. That way you can say, hey, I found online this coping strategy that might work. What do you think? You know, and this can include encouraging them to engage in self-care activities. Hey, do you need help with taking a shower? I can do laundry while you're in doing that, or I can do your dishes while you're doing that, right? Um, Maybe they used to exercise. Offer to exercise with them. Practice relaxation techniques. Some people do yoga or meditation, right? So relaxation techniques. Find out what those are, and offer to help them seek professional help if needed. Even offer to go with them, so that way you can offer more support that way. You can offer to accompany them to the appointments or assist with any practical tasks that they may find overwhelming, whether it's running errands, cooking meals, dishes, laundry, cleaning, cooking, whatever it might need to be. Maybe it's offer just to sit with them as they take a shower so you can talk to them about nothing. The weather outside is this, or, hey, did you read this article, or whatever the case is. So, hi, Pearls of Wisdom, welcome in. So make sure that when you are doing this supporting, that you educate yourself on whatever the mental health challenges are, so you can offer the practical support that they need. Number 9, encourage professional and or spiritual help. Now, this is important because a lot of us are not professionals, and we're just there as a friend to help them the best that we can. So suggesting that therapy really is not a bad thing. So suggest therapy or counseling or a life coach like myself, or whatever it is that they need, spiritual help. So whether it's with a professional who specializes in their specific or your specific mental health challenge, or if it's a spiritual leader, offer to assist in finding a suitable mental health professional for them or a spiritual leader for them. Accompany them to their appointments if they feel, uncomfortable, to be comfortable. But the most important thing is to just be there for them. And again, if you don't have someone that you can talk to, make sure you're journaling it out, and please seek professional help, whether it's with a life coach or a therapist or a counselor or a spiritual person that you trust, right? I've got like 3 more. So number 10 is avoid judgment and stigma. So be mindful not to judge or stigmatize their anxiety. Understand that mental health challenge is real, valid, and that it can significantly impact a person's life. So try to create a safe and non-judgmental environment where they will feel comfortable expressing their feelings. So again, out of my book, right? Because I wrote all this um, because I fight mental health challenges. I've got PTSD, I've got depression, I've got anxiety. I've been diagnosed just recently with all this stuff that I didn't even know existed in my life. Um, so if you don't have someone to support you, you're more than welcome to reach out to me or someone else that you feel will support you. Number 11 is stay connected. Make sure you regularly check in on them, even if it's just a simple text or a phone call. Hey, I'm thinking of you. How are you? Let them know that you're there for them and that they're not alone. Again, not alone, not forgotten, right? That's 11. Number 12 is encourage self-care. You want to support them in engaging in self-care activities that promote their well-being, such as exercise, spending time outdoors, which gives you your natural vitamin D, by the way, practicing mindfulness, don't forget journaling, pursuing hobbies that they enjoy, and just being around others can also help too. So if you don't have anyone, try to be around other people, whether it's, I don't know, your religious people or family members or whatever the case is. I know it can be hard, but being around them, oh, and children are the best to be around. They have such a contagious laugh that you can't help but join in sometimes. My 9-year-old granddaughter that I babysit every day comes to me and she goes, Mammy, I just have to listen to some God music. And it just melts me to hear that. So find someone, children are the best. They don't judge, they don't criticize, they don't do any of that. They just want you there. Maybe just find a child to sit with, right? Family member, preferably. Um, so that's encourage self care. And the last one I have on here, and again, this is my research. Make sure you do your own research. It's very important. I only found 13, but there might be a heck of a lot more out there, right? So the 13 one I have is monitor their mood changes and monitor your own if this is for you. You want to um, help them identify the triggers and warning signs of mood episodes and encourage them to seek help when it's needed. High CR7 is GOAT. Um, thank you. So, again, this is my book, my research. You want to do your own research on whatever mental health challenge that you have. I don't want to call them issues because we have a lot of life issues as it is. This is just a mental health challenge that I'm trying to help you guys as well as myself in this aspect, right? So each person's mental health challenge experience is unique and different. It's essential to listen, understand, and tailor your support to their individual need, not your need, to their need. And if you don't have that support, I can't stress enough to find someone, a professional, um, ask. You can ask questions. Find someone that is either a therapist or a counselor or a, I don't know, spiritual guide that you would trust, you know. So I want to share some scripture with you that you hopefully would find comfort and guidance in. First one is Psalms 34, 17 and 18. It says, the righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. That to me is like a relief. It's like having, to me, and again, I'm not pushing my religion on you, but to me, it's like having God wrap his arms around me and say, hey, I'm here. I know your spirit's crushed, but I'm here, right? Another one, and this is one of my favorite ones, is Isaiah 41:10. And it was my dad's when he was alive too. So it says, fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Is it a long question? Because you wrote that a while ago. So I'm not sure I understand your question. Okay. Another scripture, I've got two more, is Matthew 11:28-30. And it says, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And this one, Philippians 4:6-7 says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Now, again, this right here is just something that I believe in. I don't expect you to believe in it, but that's it. So that's the end of chapter 2 in my book of Not Alone, Not Forgotten. Next week, I'll go over and I will do a recap on it. But it's very important that we help support one another. And again, if you don't have that support, Journal, journal, journal. Write things down. Possibly, Laura. Write things down in your journal. And if you have questions, put them up here. Hopefully pertaining to mental health challenge, because that's what this channel is about you and me. Oh, yeah. I can see how that could be that. You're right. Anywho, I will delete that later. But yeah, I got it. I'll delete it later. But if you have any questions, or if there's something that you would like me to talk about, let me know. My email address is llewellynbissel@gmail.com. You can put comments in here if you feel comfortable doing that. But if you don't want anyone knowing what you want me to look up and to talk about, just email me. I want you to know that you're not alone and you're not forgotten, which is why, well, actually, God made me write it, but which is why I have this book out, right? I've been writing other books, sci-fi books, and love stories because sometimes we need to get away. And that's what I did. I wrote some books to just get away from it all, just to get out of my own head. So by all means, make sure if you have any questions, let me know either at llewellynbissel.com or, whatever the case is, maybe in here. There we go. All right. So I want to thank you for being here. I'll be back again next Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I hope you'll join. Thank you very much for watching and have an amazing, amazing weekend.